The following program, though incredibly nerdy, is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised, and you probably shouldn't watch if you're an overly sensitive pussy.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, you're feeling the vibes. Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? The holiday cheer. Truckers, let's do another stream. Let's talk some more nerdy shit. Let's share some holiday cheer. You know what I just did before I got on stream? You'll never guess. You'll never guess, and maybe you shouldn't even try, chat, because of where your mind goes. But you know what I just did before I got on stream? Any guesses? Took a dump, played some Ark, took a poo, played Warhammer. No, that was last night. That was pretty fun. Pooped, drink coffee. Jeez. I had a delicious Christmas cookie and a refreshing glass of milk. I feel like I'm low-key turning into Santa Claus myself. It was so good. It was so yummy, and I'm filled with holiday cheer. Hell yeah. Love these earlier streams, man. Remember when you tried the 12 p.m. one? Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, we've tried a lot of things. Look, the only reason we're going earlier is like today, for instance, today, I was planning on streaming later, and I was going to go to the theater and see the new, the trailer that's in front of Avatar. And then I was going to come right back and like stream after having seen it. But there's actually like some pretty cool news out there. So number one, there's the Wolverine news, which we're definitely going to get into. And I have a lot to say about it because look, man, there's some of that energy's coming out with people are like, I don't want Steve Rogers back. Hugh Jackman should retire. And we got to be like, hell nah, shut your mouth and explain it why it's going to be good. So we'll talk about that. But then there's also some details emerging about what the plan actually is for these trailers. And it's somewhat of a mixed bag, but I do want to talk about it because it'll properly set our expectations up for the next couple of weeks and for when we'll get an actual trailer, which I think would be February. I might have left one of the dogs out. Hang on. God damn it! Come on, buddy. Want to say hi to everybody? Oh, no, you don't care. Okay, we're good. Sorry. I left one of the dogs out. I didn't realize it, and he was making a scene. You shut your mouth when you're talking to me. Hey, you don't say that. I don't know what to do with my hands. Yeah, me neither. Good morning, Josh. Hope you and the family are doing well. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're doing great over here. It's been a really nice holiday season so far. Kaylin, appreciate you gifted a membership. Thanks, brother. It's been a really good holiday season. I hope you guys are having some good family time as well. And kids might be hanging out with grandparents this weekend a little bit. We're going to hang out with grandparents. My sister just got into town from the West Coast. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting some family time and all that. You know what I mean? Hope you guys are as well. I need the actual trailer. Yes to Chris and Hugh coming back for the Swan Song. And then get them out of here post Secret Wars. Whoa. What? Who? I mean, maybe. We'll see. We're going to talk about it. Yeah. Stop reading chats not meant for you. Yeah, like that one probably. So Shakira confirmed? I don't think it's Shakira at all. That doesn't necessarily mean that it is Jean Grey. You know, I've tried to say many times, in many ways, it could be wrong. The whole Jean thing, right? But I believe what I believe, you know? Happy Halloween, Jeff. Thank you. Also, somebody check on him or her or whatever. Good morning, Josh. Cookies are a food group. Yeah, man. So... Elisa made some peanut butter blossom cookies, and damn, they were good. So I had a few of those last night with some holiday lager. I like the well, embarrassingly, I like this beer, the Winter Ale. That's empty though. Sam Adams Winter Ale. So was slamming a few of those back and having some cookies last night, and played some Warhammer. It was fucking incredible, dude. It was fucking incredible. They should bottle that up and put it in on sale, because that shit is awesome. Josh, if it turns out to be Shathra, will you shake your hips on stream? Yeah, for sure, man. If it turns out to be Shathra, I'll do a version of the Shakira dance on stream for you guys. You should watch Campia's rant on Trump. It's epic AF. Well, we don't do politics around here. You know what I mean? We don't do politics. We're an escape from the politics, at least as much as we possibly can be. Yeah, I mean, look, I'll just say that I think there's a lot of people unhappy right now, and if other people want to let it out, that's absolutely fine. The closest I'll get these days is like take some little shots here and there, tweet some shit that people get all mad about and everything. So yeah, that's about where I'm at with it. I recently switched back to whiskey from drinking beer for a few months, and I've never felt better. Yeah, I mean, the beer has a lot of calories, you know what I mean, for sure. But especially in the winter months, man, because I'm putting my winter fat on. That's just like my way of saying, like, I've fallen off my diet. I'm putting a little winter fat on for the cold. And in that respect, the beer and the cookies are a good combo. My theory is that Sadie Sink is playing Chameleon, and actually it will be revealed to be Zendaya, and the twist will be that she copied Jean. Damn! That's a pretty crazy theory, yeah. Let's go war, baby, war. What did I say? I don't even know what I just said, but, oh, okay, I see what you guys are saying. Yeah. Look, the only war I get down with is Warhammer. Because in the grim darkness of the 41st millennia, and actually maybe our own actual future, there is only war. No politics, though. What the fuck is going on with all this news this week? Well, it's just, I mean, things are in motion, man. Things are in motion. There's a lot of stuff coming out, and a lot of people plugged in, and I think also a lot of people still care. You know, a lot of people still cares about the Marvels and all that, and we'll see, because I think they obviously have some, I think they have some damage to overcome, and they still got to win back some hearts and minds, etc. But overall, I think that a lot of stuff's coming out, but it's all stuff that's like we've kind of known about, but there's more evidence coming out for it, and I think that's why it's popping up in the news again. Good morning. We're going to see Avatar tonight. So my plan, and I have to wait, I'm waiting on a text and some explanations here, but my plan is to go watch the trailer today if I can. I'll probably do a reaction to the trailer. I'll come home and like cut a reaction to the trailer, put it on the channel, and then tomorrow I'll talk about having had seen it and what that experience was like. There are people seeing it. What's interesting though is there are some showings of Avatar that are still don't even have the trailer attached, which is interesting. So I don't know exactly what's going on with that, but yeah. What is a Warhammer, and why did they only make 40,000? You got to read all the books to find out. If you read all the books, you'll know. Is the Brand New Day trailer playing in theaters this week? So you know what's interesting about that? I don't think so, but it could. So it just kind of came out yesterday, and this stuff all just evolves, right? I mean, the news comes out, you get more context, there's stuff that we think we know, and then we get info, and we're like, oh, okay, so maybe it was actually this. That's just a part of the game. But it is starting to look like the leak that happened yesterday with the Spider-Man trailer was a leak that had that was recorded months ago. Meaning that survey system and the whole way of like getting people to judge how good the trailer is was probably going on months ago. And this trailer has, some people are saying the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer right now has finished VFX and it is ready to rip. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. The leaker who leaked Spider-Man trailer are saying Sadie is definitely not Jean. Yeah, of course. Look, guys, it's tough because I totally get it, and I understand why people are saying this. But if what I think is happening, you're gonna have people saying she's not Jean the whole way through, and that's because their sources are going to tell her that she's not Jean. But what you have to understand is, if I am correct about this, none of that debunks it. None of that, because what I am telling you is Marvel has created a sophisticated psyop that essentially will hide her true identity for like as long as possible. So you guys can. I love this kind of stuff, and I think it's great because here's the thing. Okay, think about it from this perspective. We truly do not know. I've said a million times I could be wrong about this, but consider just for a second that I'm right. If I'm right, then Marvel has so hidden this that I'm right and will still fight about it and will still not be sure, like, basically all the way to the film. That's actually the best case scenario. That's the best case scenario because, you know, of course I try to figure out as best I can what is going on, but I'm not against surprises. I'm certainly not against being wrong. You know, this is all just a part of the game for me. So that's kind of the best way that I can say it. But like literally, guys, unless my source that told me this walks it back, why would I believe anybody else? You know what I mean? Let's see here. Ibsy says, Robert Meyer Burnett thinks there might be a Secret Avengers movie in June. Yeah. Look, I love that too. I mean, I love that too, dude. That's fucking cool. Like, I'm not saying... Like, you know what's kind of cool about that? It's like, look, I don't think that's true. But although there have been so many rumors about... I understand why Robert thinks that, right? There's plenty of evidence to suggest there's something going on. But I'm just not convinced that that's exactly what it's going to be, or if there even is anything to it, right? But what I think is really fucking cool is... Maybe even a couple of weeks ago, maybe even a month ago, I don't know that Robert would have a take like that. But the reason he's able to justify having that take now is because Marvel has gotten back into the business of blowing our minds. And this 4 trailer thing, this 5th trailer that they might be cooking, which we're going to get into in a little bit here, all of this stuff that's happening is making people like Robert, making people like John, making others in the space like myself become aware in some sense that they're breaking rules, they're thinking outside of the box, and they're truly trying to create completely crazy and novel experiences. So even the ability for Robert to speculate like that is connected to the motion that is being created here for Marvel Studios, right? Now, again, I'm not saying they're going to do that. I don't think they are going to do that, but it's cool. It's cool. Make it Secret Warriors and bring back Quake, gathering heroes to stop Doom. I wouldn't be against that. I thought Quake was one of the better characters from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., to be honest with you. Travels and Conversations, appreciate you, brother, says, Brother, namaste, and all fellow nerd from India, love your theories. I am hoping to see Magneto and some of the other X-Men play a major part in the MCU. Well, thank you so much. Shout out to you from India, brother. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, look, I think, like, when it comes to Magneto, you know, I think he will be served well in Doomsday, potentially served well in Secret Wars. There's a lot of mystery with Secret Wars. We really don't know. We don't know what's going on with Secret Wars, right? But I think Magneto will be served well, meaning the audience will really enjoy what Marvel does with Magneto and potentially his family in these next 2 movies. And then it is on the MCU, and some of the stuff we're going to talk about today, because I have some notes here, right? And we're going to get into the MCU plan, the Wolverine, the old, the new, what is actually going on there. But Marvel's kind of doing this cool thing where they're kind of simultaneously trying to give this incredible version of Magneto in Ian McKellen's Magneto, which regardless of how the next two Avengers movies turn out, I think nerds around the world, owe us a sentiment of gratitude towards Ian McKellen. I think, it feels a little bit morbid to say, but when he eventually does, pass on, that loss will be so felt in this community because of the many things that he did to give back to storytelling, to pop culture, to myth, to awesome characters. I think story is so valuable and important. I think this space gets shit on sometimes from other folks that just think of it as nerdy shit or think of it as silly stories and it's fake, it's fiction and all that. But like, dude, it's so much more than that to me, and I think it's more than that for a lot of you as well. So they're going to give him even more shine and even more justice in these next two movies. But then what becomes interesting is you really need your next version of Magneto to be just as cool, just as badass, maybe even more badass and more interesting. Like, the next one needs to like go for it. So there's this kind of really interesting thing happening where we want to put an end cap and an end stone on Magneto, and in some ways for audiences really establish what that character was and what that version of that character was. And then also establish this new, which must slap and must feel like Magneto, And by the way, going back to one of those old rumors where, this would just be like, I wouldn't even quite know what to make of this, but it would be incredible. There were some rumors that, why am I blanking on the homie's name right now? The like best actor that ever lived and walked the earth, Daniel Day-Lewis. There were rumors that Daniel Day-Lewis was potentially going to be the new Magneto, and I just don't know. Yeah, that would be insane. That would be like absolutely ridiculous. So appreciate the support, man. CO says they're building hype, which is definitely back to form, but I don't think our minds will be blown until the actual 2-hour event. Much love, boy. Yeah, it kind of depends on where you're at with this whole thing. Again, the community over here is sort of ahead and maybe misguided in some ways because we were so ahead. Things change. But I don't know. It just kind of depends. It depends on what would personally blow your mind. To me, I'm just having really fun experiences, and I'm really enjoying watching other nerds and other people online, get into this. There's a video out of crowds in Brazil, I believe, watching the Steve Rogers trailer, and bro, they are feeling it. And it is like, here, I'll show you right here. It's like really cool, man. It's a pretty beautiful moment. It's cool. And I expect a lot more of this. It's going to be really interesting to watch, like, the normies and the more casuals, because they've checked out. You know what I mean? Like, frankly, a lot of them have checked out. As I've talked to you guys about, and it was kind of shocking when I went to New York and did that thing with the Deadpool VR, just to see how even those people that are like, these guys are like we're there for fucking Deadpool VR, right? And they're the most Marvel people that maybe you could think of, and they haven't watched the movies. They haven't been watching the shows. And I was just like, damn, like, holy, right? So it's going to be kind of interesting to watch how the next few weeks go as far as, like, bringing people back. But it's sort of fair to say that some of this is aimed at the casuals and not as much for us. You speak about your mind being blown. I don't know that happens maybe until the actual trailer in February. It really depends what's in the Loki trailer, what's in the Doom trailer. But yeah, no, mind blown maybe is not the right way to say it. Any chance we get a Juggernaut? I'm not sure. I mean, I'd love Juggernaut. I want Juggernaut to be a part of like the stuff they're doing with the new MCU X-Men. That would be great. And I also want Juggernaut to be huge, dude. Like, I thought Ryan's instinct in the Deadpool 2 movie to make Juggernaut like that was brilliant. Like, that's exactly what we need. So, yeah. Daniel would never make a Marvel movie. Yeah, it's kind of, you know, I totally understand that take, you know. I don't, like, I don't know. Like, the energy you're giving me is like, you know, you're pretty aggressive. You're like, yeah, that's fucking bullshit. But I also understand it. I get it. But what maybe you're missing, right, is that's why it would be mind-blowing. And if you're Kevin Feige, like, here's the thing. I keep saying this, and I keep trying to say it in different ways. But the guy, it's more than art. I think what he does is an art form, but it's not pure art. And what I mean is this. He probably knows, I would assume he knows, based on what I know about the guy, he knows that people like you would have that reaction to hearing that rumor. And the reason you would have that reaction is because it seems what? What does it seem? What does it seem like? It seems too good to be true. Okay? And the reality is, Marvel should be in the business, and they have been in the business in the past, of doing stuff that is too good to be true. That is like what they did in the past. That was their bread and butter. So I'm not saying that is what it is, but what I am saying is, if I were Marvel and if I were Kevin, I would be looking at stuff like that. That, I think, is the path to really and truly breaking back into the zeitgeist and getting people really, 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 really hyped. So, Aaron Pierre as Blue Marvel would be dope. Yeah, he would be great. I mean, Blue Marvel's an interesting character, you know? I think Blue Marvel could absolutely work, but I don't know how they would do that in the current MCU. Taking my wife to see Avatar because it's her favorite. Yeah, I'm working on some stuff. What's up, Bianca? So I'm working on some stuff to maybe get the kids a babysitter so that Elisa and I can go out and watch Avatar this weekend. I would really like to watch Avatar, man. Unfortunately, today I'm probably not watching the movie. I'm watching the trailer and I'm bailing. Deadpool 2 Juggernaut is peak. I think he's really good. Yeah, I like it a lot. If they can get back on track the way that it feels that they are, I'll have new hope in Star Wars. Yeah, you know, I was thinking about Star Wars this morning and yesterday a little bit. And look, you know what I think it is, man? Because I'm working on a video that's about Marvel that I'm going to publish in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be a big video essay, basically called something like Why Marvel Didn't Die. And within that video, we're going to talk about the reality of the damage, the reality of what happened, but then also like the reality of how Deadpool and Wolverine can still pop off and how we think next year the two Marvel movies are pretty much going to lock $1 billion or close to $1 billion. At least I think that's honestly being reasonable, just especially considering the hype we've seen this week. And the reality is, like, I think the reason that Marvel was able to truly course correct is that they had a bedrock of success that actually predated their own universe. This is a bit of a nuanced point, but it's like all the other studios have this as well. Star Wars has this, DC has this, meaning there's stories in their catalog. There were artists, there were writers, there were people, editors, you know, at these companies over the past 60 years that have given some incredible stories and characters to their fan base. And so there's a bedrock of something there that worked. And Marvel is able to revert back to that and connect to a thing that I still think really resonates with a lot of people around the world. And of course, you know, the MCU has its own version of that. They have their own way to do that. And I think they're cooking their own way. And I think with the Russos, it's going to be really, really cool. But ultimately, like when it comes to Star Wars and when it comes to DC, what I'm saying is, you know what it is? It's about essence. It's about essence. Turn your gain down? Okay, I will. But next time, say please. It's about essence. And there's still an essence of Star Wars that exists outside of what Star Wars has become now and how it is recognized and perceived now. I think that is the same of DC. I think that is the same of Marvel. you know, when it comes to DC, that's kind of why All In worked. I mean, a lot of credit to Scott and his team and how All In he actually did that. Like, he went hard, and I think is such a good ambassador for books and, you know, comics and the whole genre. But it works because it takes the essence of DC and puts a new twist on an old lemon in a way that people are really appreciating, really liking. So, yeah. Let's see here. Kaylin says, I never put a cap on my expectations for Marvel. People think Endgame was their ceiling, but I think they're just getting started. Yeah, well, it's the fact that things have changed and what has worked before will not work again, but there's still a cool way to meet and exceed fan expectations. And I think they truly know that. Any chance of Quasar after the reboot? Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, we got Phyla-Vell, Nova's coming. They're going into the Cosmic, so yeah, I think so. Ibsy says, what's your number one Xmas movie? Oh, dude, that's a good question. So, like, look, Elf is up there. I already watched Elf this year for Christmas. One of my favorite Christmas movies, and obviously can't watch this with the kids, but it's Bad Santa. And honestly, Bad Santa 2, it's not bad. But Bad Santa is, to this day, one of my most favorite Christmas movies, dude. Billy Bob Thornton just fucking doing his thing, being a rage bum. Oh, dude, it's great. Love that movie. If y'all not seen that, definitely check that out. Probably not the best, says Josh. The rumor that symbiote Tom Spidey will kill Toby Spidey can't be real, right? There's no way audiences will see Tom's face positively after that. I don't think there's anything to that rumor. I haven't really looked into it. But I don't really buy that rumor. Yeah. Dude, yeah, the Bad Santa movie is so good, dude. It's so good. Okay, guys, so we're gonna get started on the topics here in just a minute here, but let me explain what's going on. So today, we're gonna talk about this Hugh Jackman solo Wolverine project, which was just revealed. We'll talk about the details of that. I'll talk about what I've heard about the X-Men plan and how this all ties together. Then we're going to talk about the plan for these trailers for Endgame and how they're starting to be revealed to us. And there might be 5 Avengers Doomsday trailers, which kind of makes sense. And yeah, I'm on my fucking lunch break, too. I love that part. So that's kind of the plan for today. Those 2 main topics. Might be a shorter stream today. Later on today, I am going to go out to the movie theater and see the Doomsday trailer the way it was intended to be seen, behind a damn near $20 paywall. So we'll watch that, and then I'll come back and do a little reaction video. Tomorrow, the plan is we're streaming at 5 p.m. and it's happy hour here at Nerdvengers Tower. I'm going to be drinking holiday cocktails, slamming a few holiday drinks, and we're going to be looking back at this year of our Lord, 2025. What a fucker of a year, huh? But we're looking at it through the perspective of nerdy shit, okay? So we won't get into all the bad stuff, just the bad stuff that happened in pop culture. What we're going to do is look back at all the predictions I made in late 2024 as far as what would happen in 2025. I got to be honest, I feel like I was way fucking off. This year was crazy. This year was very unpredictable. So that'll be a fun stream. We'll start on Friday at 5. We'll start having some cocktails and holiday-themed cocktails. It's going to be a good-ass time tomorrow. Yeah, 5 p.m. tomorrow. Well, yeah, I mean, because it's a drinking stream, brother. We got to wait, you know what I mean? Terrence the Discerner says, if they truly commit to the cosmic stories, I pray they deliver a true post-Galactus Silver Surfer storyline. It's so rich in grand scale, deep stories. I think the Surfer will be involved, but I think they're not doing origins and shit anymore. And I think when Norrin shows up, they'll be like, oh, he's just the one that, like, from the Sacred Timeline, and he had the same story as her. Like, you know what I mean? Kind of like that, but we'll see. Michael Wright says, I saw Bad Santa in the theater. A woman brought her 2 young kids in and rushed them out after about 5 minutes in. Yeah, dude, that is not a movie for kids, but it is so funny, dude. It is so funny. I love that flick, dude. It's 5 p.m. somewhere? Yes, it is. Yes. When has Josh ever had good predictions? Fair. Annihilation Wave is the next big crossover event, in my opinion. That would be fun. The Annihilation stuff is very fun. There's a lot of stuff they could do with the cosmic things. We'll see. I got to watch this after work, but much love, everyone. Have a good weekend. I appreciate you. The Starjammers would be cool, Nick. Starjammers will be cool. Let me take a couple more sips of the coffee, and then we'll get into the topics, okay? While I'm having the coffee, let's talk Warhammer just a little bit, okay? I know. Just relax. Last night, played an epic game of Warhammer. Oh, we got the Golden Boys out. It was sick, dude. I tried a real crafty and aggressive move immediately by... basically, what I did was I sort of rushed up the board to my opponent's natural expansion objective. All that means is it's the objective closest to his deployment zone. Just chill. Hey, relax. This was a super aggressive move because I was basically trying to burn and remove his objective turn 1, which would have changed the entire game. Didn't end up working. They got fucking shellacked over there. So basically, like, the right side of the board was kind of like a bloodbath, but it was very close to my opponent's deployment zone. Left side of the board, the Golden Boys cleaned up. Slaughtered, dude. Slaughtered. Epic game. Went down to the final round. I won by 3 points. And I actually won by doing a move earlier in the game that looks like, what are you doing? I basically, like, teleported 2 little units into my opponent's deployment zone, and they just kind of hid. And then on the last turn, I flipped the secondary objective that's behind enemy lines. Boom. 4 extra points. Get the victory by 3. It was unbelievable. So Custodes strong as hell with the new points changes. I have to adjust this list a little bit. This list was not... we're going to have to make some changes. This wasn't it. But there's stuff that I really like about it. So, yeah. Probably going to try to play again over the weekend. Maybe I'll try to play Adam. Adam, are you in here? Oh, it was great. And I'm so pumped that so many in chat are loving this shit. Does Warhammer have video games? Yes, brother. A lot of good ones. And a lot of good ones coming out. In fact, hey, you don't say that. Watch Those Wrist Rockets says, I had a dream that Gunn directed the Unity movie. That's called a nightmare. That's not a dream. That's a nightmare. I'll teleport to you a little unit. What the fuck? Yeah. So there's a lot of good video games. Space Marine 2 is probably the most popular out right now. I really like the Rogue Trader game. It's a like top-down RPG, turn-based combat and all that. And there's 4, count them up, 4 epic Warhammer games releasing on PC. And I'm talking about fucking actually releasing before that KOTOR Disney version, Fate of the Brand, I think it's called. So I'm just saying, like, if you're a Star Wars fan, you got to jump ship. It's over, and you got to get into Warhammer. We're leaving Warhammer in 2025? Hell no, we ain't. Hell no, we ain't doing that. Total War's probably the furthest out. Dawn of War 4 is going to release before that. The Mechanicus game is going to release before that. And then the other Owlcat game was going to release before that. I was disappointed with Space Marine 2. Get him out of here! I mean, no, that's cool. It's fine. Different strokes, different folks. James Gunn with... Oh, my God. Start building my Astra Militarum RME. Loving it. Hell yeah, Dylan. I'll give you a little bit of advice, though. If you want to act like the cool kid on the playground in the Warhammer community, call it Guard. It is Astra Militarum. I'm not saying you're wrong. Technically, you're right. But a lot of these fucking butthole gatekeeping Warhammer fans are going to be like, it's called the Guard, son! So just know that that's coming. I can't wait till Warhammer is mainstream. Me too. You trying to put chat onto Warhammer reminds me of myself trying to get my friends into anime. How did it work out for you? Actually, exactly right. Gun for Warhammer would feed nations? No, it wouldn't. Holy. Wish I had the holiday drinks right now. Michael Bay's Lobo movie would have been awesome. You know what? Let's start by shitting on the DCU and Supergirl just a little bit. We got any DC fans in here? We got any DC fans in here? So there was a screening for Supergirl out there recently. How y'all think that went? Where you at? Braden? Doombot? Where you at? Yeah, so there was a test screening for Supergirl recently. Should I pull up what Cryptic said about it? By the way, Cryptic's mad at me. If you're watching this, I am sorry. I am an asshole. It's not like I'm gonna change, but I am sorry. By the way, too, can you guys keep a fucking secret? I'm ADD as shit right now, but can you guys keep a secret just between us? Just between us. I was watching back the clips yesterday, and I was like, dude, we need to check the ego a little bit. You know what I mean? I would never admit, don't tell anybody I said this. Don't admit this to anybody. But I was watching the clips yesterday, and I was like, I need to check the ego just a little bit. It's a little too much. We need to get, to the fucking Amazon, get some ayahuasca, strip it out a little bit. You know what I mean? But don't ever admit that I said that shit. But we gotta check that shit a little bit. You know what I mean? It generally is one of my big weaknesses, to be honest. So, anyway, Cryptic's mad at me, but let's see what Cryptic said. Let's pull up our DMs on stream. I'm just kidding, Cryptic. All right, here we go. Oh, and also, yeah, he fucking quote tweeted Daniel RP stupid face K with this. All right, anyway. Here's what Cryptic said here. Well, first of all, Daniel said a test screening for Supergirl was held yesterday. I've heard nothing but good things from several people. So, that's the bullshit take. Here's what Cryptic said. Yes, Supergirl had a test screening, roughly 2 hours and 5 minutes. From what I heard, feedback was not that great, but it wasn't a bad film. Some scenes shined a lot more than others. Millie is praised for her acting in the role. Lobo had 2 fights. The villain is underwhelming. My man, Cryptic, my man. Okay, so not great, and also, why the fuck Daniel lying? Like, who are these people? I mean, we already know. We already know what's going on with that. Okay, but anyway, so what does it mean? Well, I think that if you're being fair, it's no different than where we were at with Superman, with some asterisks, because I do think Supergirl is potentially set up in a tougher position than Superman. But I mean, guys, this is basically where Superman was. Mixed feedback, according to Cryptic, not that great. But not saying it's a bad movie. That's why you do these early screenings. That's why you tweak. That's why you potentially do reshoots, etc. Some scenes shined. Millie's praised. Lobo has 2 fights. The villain is underwhelming. So maybe they add a little more Lobo. Maybe they tweak the villain a little bit. But look, I think it's a similar story to Superman, but the sort of heights that this thing has to climb are much higher. I continue to believe I think Supergirl is fucked. Like, I thought that trailer was terrible. And it's wild to see how many people, even people that really, really support the DC and DC, Guns DC and all that, it was wild to see even those people being like, bro, Guardians again. And I don't know, because that message feels like it's coming across. Are they receiving the message? Is it too late to change the movie? Is it just too caked into the DNA? I'm not sure. But here's the other thing that's wild. This movie could have, even if Daniel was right, which he's not, but let's say Daniel was right, I don't even think it fucking matters. I don't know how much the quality of this film matters. Okay? Which I know that could be a triggering thing to some of you. But I'm just being real. Like, I don't know how much the quality of this movie even matters. I think there's so much working against this film that maybe tone matters more than quality. I would argue the action matters more than quality. The spectacle matters more than quality. So, yeah, I don't know, man. This is a tough situation for DC to be in. Again, it's weird that Daniel is saying this thing and Cryptic's literally like, nope, not what I heard. So interesting. What do you guys think? We're going to get into Marvel stuff here in a second here, but what do you think? If you're a DC fan, how are you feeling out there? Terrence the Discerner, appreciate the 5 brother, says it's baffling how messy DC's film situation always is. Not always their fault, but even with Warner Brothers purchase drama, they can't get quality footing, man. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I absolutely agree with you. And, you know, one has some wonder, is it a Warner Brothers thing? Is Netflix maybe the answer to this problem? Because, by the way, Netflix is getting that thing, dude. I can't believe it. I thought Paramount would lock it up. I thought Paramount had a clear track. I mean, I guess loyalty's not what we thought it was, right? But, yeah, it seems like Netflix is going to get this thing. I mean, Ted Sarandos and the co-CEO were there with Zaslav on the lot yesterday. I saw an image posted like 9 hours ago. So it seems like Netflix is going to get this thing. And maybe, here's a crazy scenario. What if Netflix actually fixes this thing? What if Gunn's shit gets better? What if it all gets more cohesive? I mean, I'm not against that. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I think Gunn's doing a good job, and I'm not going to pretend that this is a great slate. This is a great fucking lineup here with fucking Supergirl Clayface. Like, I'm not going to pretend any of that. But sort of what we were saying earlier, right? DC has the juice. There's an essence there that is great. And I like the Superman movie. I think James Gunn is a fine filmmaker. I just think he has not translated his filmmaking into building out the right studio, right? I don't know. I mean, maybe Netflix can help. I'm open to that. And I'm open to it working under Gunn, right? We'll see. Yeah, what do you guys think? Netflix is not really known for quality, though. Well, Netflix is an interesting company in the sense that I think they've done some incredible quality out there. I mean, and I think they've given, frankly, really good filmmakers a buttload of money to make great projects on their own, whether it's like Scorsese and The Irishman, or it's David Fincher and The Killer, or it's Zack Snyder and the Rebel Moon stuff, which didn't work out that great, but still. Netflix is... I mean, I just can't sit here and say, yes, Netflix is not known for quality. I guess what I would say is this. They have certainly not made quality so much of a part of their brand as the way that Apple has. I think when we think Apple, and we think Apple TV, we think quality, right? Whether it's their films or their shows. You think Apple, you think quality, which they paid for that. They paid for that. They were spending a ton of money on development and creating all this stuff and not making shit for money, right? Netflix is certainly not known as that, but Netflix has good stuff. I mean, I would argue most of Stranger Things is phenomenal. I'm not a big fan of the newest stuff, but I think most of Stranger Things is phenomenal. I even like some of the Netflix anime stuff, which might be like, oh, you know, but I do. Yeah, I think Netflix, like, here's the thing. I'm a massive fan of Netflix. But I also grew up when they mailed out fucking DVDs. And I remember I was there the whole time as they changed things, as they split it. So there was DVDs and then there was a separate price for the streaming, as they sort of brought people more into the streaming thing, and then they took over on streaming. I mean, look, they're very successful. There's a reason they're about to buy Warner Brothers, you know what I mean? But yeah. He must go. Yeah, no, I don't agree with you there, Krista. Don't agree with you. But thanks for the input. I think all of this DC stuff is just yapping until we get more projects. Need to see how the Green Lanterns and Supergirl will turn out. Well, I mean, there's some truth in that, but at the same time, like, I don't really think we're all that far off as far as what do we talk about, what are we covering, even with regards to Superman. I mean, one of the things that's wild about Superman is, like, you know, despite what Gunn would have people believe, we were pretty accurately following the development, the changes, the delay in the trailer, all of it. Like, dude, we were on it. And ultimately, I think Superman, for many people, is a little bit of a goobly glob film. And even I'll say, like, dude, yeah, it's like weird. The first act is weird. It finds its rhythm, and I do love that movie. I really love that movie because what it does, it does well in a way that I don't think a lot of movies do well. But you know, you say it's all just yapping. I don't know. I think we properly set expectations. And in fact, I would argue that maybe the one reason I like Superman as much as I do, and maybe more than a lot of you other people, is that for maybe the first time in my time on YouTube, I properly set expectations, which is wild because I never do that. I certainly don't do that with Marvel. My expectations are always through the roof with Marvel, which is maybe why, like, I got so butthurt about a lot of the projects they made over the past couple of years. But with Superman, I feel like I fucking calibrated my expectations perfectly, which is why I enjoyed it. So maybe it's not just yapping. Philip says, so what happened with all the stuff about accepting the highest bid from the shareholders? Wasn't Paramount offering up $100 billion? Lawsuits coming. So here's what's interesting. And I don't like Philip. Here's the thing, brother. The real answer is it's fucking Game of Thrones, dog. It's Game of Thrones, right? And what I mean is this. Right now, what I'm hearing, and this is being reported through financial institutions, is that the shareholders, or I guess the board for Warner Brothers, does not believe that the offer from the Ellisons has legitimate financial backing. So what they're saying is, hey, we're looking at the offer, and you say it's backed by the Ellison estate. You say it's backed by this. You say it's backed by that. Well, guess what? The board doesn't agree. So your offer is a fugazi. That's my understanding of what's going on. But again, like, what the fuck does that really mean? I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know. Interesting, right? Lantern's only having one ring really pisses me off, man. Yeah, it's fucking terrible, dude. It's like, maybe Netflix will bring enough money to Warner Brothers that they can afford a second ring in the show for season 2. You know, that's like kind of what I'm thinking. It's like, holy shit, that is pretty crazy. Saudi blood money. I don't know that that's what it is exactly. And in fact, I don't even know what they're saying is the truth, but that's going to be their explanation. So Philip asked me, how can they get around the fiduciary responsibility of having to accept the highest bid offer? And the answer to that is they basically just say that offer is fake. And it's like children on the playground in some ways, man, but that's what it is. There's like 4 to 5 quality Apple TV shows. It's not like old school HBO prestige. But I think it has earned the reputation of quality out there. I think people truly think of Apple and they think quality. And that's branding. Like, that's kind of just how it works. Yeah. Oracle lost $500 billion. It isn't worth $1 trillion anymore. Yeah, I mean, again, it's all just Game of Thrones, dude. Like, apparently the Trump's son-in-law backed out of the deal as well, which was like a big signal of like, okay, yeah, this thing's probably not going to go anywhere or whatever. But yeah. All right, you ready to talk? You ready to talk some Wolverine, y'all? Y'all ready to talk some Wolverine? Should we talk some Wolverine now? Y'all ready to talk some Wolverine? By the way, no politics, but check out this funny meme I posted. No politics, though. Okay, let's talk about this. Well. All of a sudden, we're starting to understand a little bit more about the plan with Wolverine and Hugh Jackman when it comes to Marvel Studios. So let's catch you up on what happened. So yesterday, documentation came out for a solo Wolverine project. It's really a trademark for the term Wolverine as it pertains to a title for multimedia, which a lot of people have sort of shown the history of how this has happened in the past and the fact that it likely means a Wolverine movie is coming. Okay? And then my time to be a freaking butthole again, hello, posted yesterday that a solo Wolverine film starring Hugh Jackman is reportedly in development at Marvel Studios. So you can kind of see how these two things fit together. And it is assumed that the Wolverine trademark that happened yesterday or was uncovered yesterday has something to do with this solo Wolverine project. Okay, so that's sort of the first thing. Now, again, this is something that we've been talking about for a while. There were moments where we were uncertain of how this would play out, but basically from the time that Jackman was confirmed to be returning and he was going to be doing Deadpool and Wolverine, it was already out there from the scoopers and the insiders that this was not a one and done. And in fact, I've heard a lot of different things. I heard a trilogy of Deadpool, or a trilogy of movies with Deadpool. I've heard that Wolverine, or that Hugh Jackman was absolutely sticking around. as the Wolverine in the next phase of the Mutant Saga. And I've even heard that some of the jokes that were placed into Deadpool and Wolverine, like the Till You're 90 stuff, this was all to sort of tease the idea and the possibility that Jackman would be sticking around, that would be remaining. So in a lot of ways, this is sort of older news, okay? And Jackman himself, by the way, was recently out there saying some stuff. Like, didn't he recently say that Deadpool and Wolverine doesn't feel like an ending? I'm pretty sure he like recently said that because he's doing press for some movie or some project that he has coming out. So he was on press tour. He was asked about it, of course, because you're going to get asked about it for the rest of time. And so he gave that answer that Deadpool and Wolverine didn't feel like an ending. Okay, so it's been out there. It's been established. Now we're starting to see the pieces come together, and they're doing a solo Wolverine thing. So, yeah, Hugh Jackman's not done, man. I mean, that's the basics of this. Hugh Jackman is not done. He will likely be in both of the next two Avengers movies, although I'm not 100% sure how much he will be in either one. Up until recently, I think John Campea was saying that Hugh Jackman's not currently in the film. It could be that he's shooting during the additional photography, which is going to start in just a couple of months in February of 2026, and maybe they shot with a body double. That's a Russo thing. Russos do that a lot, which is where some of the confusion comes in, right? So I would imagine he's there hanging out with Toby and, you know, maybe hanging out with even RDJ's Tony Stark in Doomsday. What's going on in Secret Wars? Really not sure, but Secret Wars is a big movie. Secret Wars is going to have a lot of actors just like your Doomsday did, but they're all going to be like 1602 medieval. Well, not all of them, but most of them are going to be like that. So Hugh's got a lot on his plate with those two movies, but also, here's the thing. These next two Avengers movies are not like Wolverine movies, right? They're not like focused on Hugh Jackman. Now, there was a rumor from Alex Perez suggesting that a Hulk versus Wolverine thing will happen. And that it's either going to happen in the Avengers movies as a payoff from Deadpool and Wolverine, or it's something that will be paid off after the Avengers movies when we get into the Mutant Saga. So there's definitely something going on with Hulk and Wolverine, which obviously was set up in the Deadpool and Wolverine. So maybe it's something like that. But at the end of the day, Jackman is not done, and he will survive the MCU reset. Now, the question is, will he be the only Wolverine, or will there be a 616 Wolverine and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine operating in some other way? That, I think, is a question that nobody has the answer to yet. And even this solo this solo Wolverine project could be somewhat of like a weird hybrid thing where maybe there is a 616 Wolverine, but this guy's still around as well. I don't know. Marvel Comics has done weird shit like that in the past. Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about story because I want to talk about some of the plans with the X-Men, why Wolverine's likely not involved and why that's connected to this, right? But let's take a step back and ask this question of like, do fans want this? Is this going to be good? And it is a little like Phillip Rivers comes back to the NFL, but this guy's already back. And that movie made $1.3 billion. So I don't know, man. I mean, I kind of feel like you're getting some pushback online, but it feels like that same crowd that's like, no, Sam Wilson is Captain America. Don't bring Steve back. Oh, all these actors should be gone and all this other sort of stuff, man. I think the reality of the situation is there's a lot of fans that are going to show up to see Hugh Jackman play Wolverine. And I think there's going to be a lot of fans that will show up to see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine for many, many more years to come. So I guess like you just got to sit back and ask yourself, like, as the studio, you have this guy who not only had an iconic run as the character, but already came back and helped you guys have a massive hit. And he wants to do more. I mean, why the fuck wouldn't you? Right? Like, what would possibly be the reason to not do it? So I think that's why it's going to happen. And on top of that, like the character of Logan, it's so weird because Logan should always look like an old fucking piece of beat up leather. Like technically the knock on Jackman when he was younger was like, he's too Logan's supposed to be this like little rat dude that's fugly as hell, but will fuck you up. In some ways, Hugh Jackman is actually more like Wolverine now in his older age than he ever has been. He aged into a role of a man who, by the way, is over 200 years old. And he certainly hasn't aged as gracefully as one Steve Rogers, because he didn't get the ice bath that Steve got, right? So I just think this makes all the sense in the world. But I guess, yeah, there's going to be some fans that maybe don't like it or whatever, okay? Now, what does this mean for the X-Men? What's the story going on with that? Because, again, we don't really fully understand how this goes. Maybe there's 616 Logan, and this Logan's out there. I want to talk about multiple things that I've heard, okay? And this is all heavy speculation, heavy rumor. We don't know for sure, right? But I was told that Reynolds is working on a movie right now. And the Reynolds movie, he wants the new Storm. He wants new MCU Storm. And he does want Cynthia for it. He wants to do a movie with Storm, Wolverine, Deadpool, and a lot of the X-Force, including Josh Brolin's Cable. Okay, so that's something that I've heard. But that doesn't feel like a Wolverine solo movie. So are they doing a Wolverine solo movie and they're also cooking some Reynolds X-Force Exiles thing? Is this a solo Wolverine movie that Deadpool gets to star in, just like Wolverine starred in the Deadpool movie? Is that what's going on? Or are these separate projects? I kind of think separate projects, and I kind of think you're going to get a solo Wolverine thing, and you're going to get that movie with Reynolds, that Reynolds is probably cooking, which will take a little bit longer. Deadpool could be in the Wolverine movie as well, right? So that's kind of interesting. Now, let's talk about Wolverine as far as the new MCU mutants are concerned. So basically, from years ago when all of these rumors were first popping up, there were good rumors suggesting that Wolverine would not be a part of the new X-Men team. And this was because they were doing something else with Wolverine. By the way, Magneto might not be a part of the new X-Men movie or the Mutants movie either, but that's because they're doing something with Magneto as well. Maybe a Brotherhood of Mutants thing that they're building on the side with Magneto. Now, when you look at the new X-Men comics, the sort of relaunch from the ashes or whatever after Krakoa, which really hasn't been great, but I did check some of it out because I mean, we all kind of heard that Kevin wanted a return to form. He didn't want Krakoa to be publishing comics while he was going to build something a little bit more traditional in the MCU. So that's where the idea to kill Krakoa comes from. And in the first issue of the new X-Men comic, Scott is leading the team, and they go to rescue mutants that are being experimented on and taken by a bad organization, which I think is going to be where your damage control thing comes in from yesterday. And in that comic, Logan is in there for a second. They do rescue Logan from one of those things, but then he basically tells him to fuck off and he goes his own way. So maybe Wolverine gets a cameo in the new X-Men, John, but he is not going to be a part of that team. Okay? Now, believe it or not, I heard Alpha Flight, and I'm like, bro, what? Ain't no way. Alpha Flight? Sasquatch? We're doing Alpha Flight? Alpha Flight is connected to the Weapons Plus or Weapons X thing. There is some connection there with, Logan and his sort of formative years. So, yeah, I guess Alpha Flight could be there for that. The other thing that I think is wild about this is I'm anticipating that this is not just going to be Hugh Jackman signing up for more, but kind of in the way that Reynolds has really taken ownership of Deadpool, in the way that Hiddleston has really taken ownership of Loki, and in the way that RDJ is really about to take ownership of Victor Von Doom. I think what Hugh wants to do is he has a vision, he has things he wants, and I think he's going to assemble his own team. I think he's going to be a producer on this thing. Maybe just an executive producer, but I think he's going to come in and help produce. And I would imagine he's going to really take some ownership and do some stuff that he's wanted to do with the character for a long time. And you know what's kind of interesting about that? Is what do we know Hugh Jackman has wanted to do for a long time? It's to fight the Avengers. He's wanted to fight the Avengers, man. There were times when Jackman was like in the prime of his career as Logan, and he was talking about fighting the Avengers, and he really wanted it to happen. He was passionate about it. You get a little bit of that probably in the next two Avengers movies, but maybe there's a little something to that in what Jackman wants to do as well. And in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he brings back a director that he had a lot of fun with. And I'm talking about James Mangold. And what a way to sort of give a little bit of love back to Mangold, where I think Mangold was a little upset at Deadpool and Wolverine and the way they shit on Logan, the movie. In my opinion, it doesn't take anything away from Logan. Logan's an incredible film. But maybe they've had conversations, because those guys, by the way, they did 2 movies together, and they really built, it's almost like the way Christopher McQuarrie and Tom Cruise really built a great working relationship together, as like movie star that has goals, director that has goals, but also is able to do what the movie star wants. They have that kind of a relationship. So I wouldn't be surprised if Mangold came back and this Wolverine thing, because dude, let's be real. Like, a lot of people, the criticism of this thing, the knock on this thing is going to be cash grab. He's just building retirement for his kids or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be those kind of things. The only way to fight that is to come with the goods. Assemble an incredible squad here. You know, I mean, even Tom Holland and the things he wanted for Spider-Man are being, you know, taken care of by Daniel, and they look like they're really cooking there. So I personally think this could be incredible. And I think it needs to be incredible. It can't just be another Wolverine movie with Hugh Jackman. It cannot be that. That is not good for anybody, including the fans, including Jackman, including the studio. That's not good for anybody. So we need the goods. And I think you're going to get the goods, man. I think you're going to get the goods. So whether or not this is a Hugh Jackman solo thing where he's cooking something, it could be connected to that stuff we talked about with Deadpool, could be connected to the Alpha Flight plan, it could be connected to the new X-Men Mutant plan in some way. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of my thoughts on it. That's what I think is going on. And I'll open it up for questions, comments, and concerns. What do you guys make of this whole situation, man? And let me scroll up here and go over some of these super chats here. Fish Like Fish Production says, what if Wolverine vs. Hulk scene in Deadpool was from Secret Wars? If so, maybe that Wolverine in the brown suit is our Secret Wars variant. Absolutely could be something like that, brother. That would be kind of fun. Anorexic Storm is not the vibe. Yes, I totally agree with you. Get her a sandwich. Kalen says, maybe we get a Secret Wars Wolverine vs. Hulk on Battleworld in 2027 before Secret Wars. Wishful thinking. I mean, dude, that shit would be dope. I think the rumors were that George Miller was looking to do a World War Hulk movie, or maybe a Thor 5 movie or whatever, right? So, yeah. Something like that could be great, huh? Let's see here. Nate Hommel says, who do you think Scott is going to fit into Doomsday after Quantum Mania? I think you've hinted at it before, but what can you say? Scott Lang? I don't know anything. I don't know if there's anything else I can say. I have some theories. I have some thoughts. I'm not sure how that's all going to play out, man. But I think there's something weird about Scott for sure. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think there's something weird about Scott? I think there's something weird about that, bro. I mean, come on, man. That rat in Endgame, just letting him out, bro. Okay, Terrence, I'll get that in just a second, brother. The Steve Ski says, 1 year down. Nerd vengeance for life. Keep up the great work, Josh. Hey, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, we've been doing a lot of nerd vengeance lately, huh? A lot of nerd vengeance. All right, let's see what the homie said here. Terrence the Discerner, appreciate the 5, brother. Says, if this movie is coming, it's probably going to function as a Wolverine torch passing, sort of like No Way Home with Tom's christening, post-Secret Wars. Something like that could work, man. You think we'll ever see Hulk versus Wolverine? Seems like a lot of Hulk on the horizon. Yeah, I just sort of spoke to that. Yeah. Yeah, bro. I think it could work. Here's a thought I've been having a lot. So, Doomsday, and maybe Secret Wars as well, is going to give us a lot of variants. And I don't know. I think part of that is actually to get us to accept other versions and variants, so that after Secret Wars, the audience is a little bit more accepting of like, oh, this is the new Cap. This is the new Tony. This is the new Scott Lang, you know, or Ant-Man. Maybe they're doing Hank Pym. Yeah, there's something there. There's absolutely something there. I don't quite know what it is, but yeah, it's a good theory. It's a good thought. I definitely think there's something there, buddy. Zoe Kravitz as Storm, that'd be great. If Cynthia is Storm, I'll lose it. Storm should be beautiful. Yeah, definitely, Nathan. Yeah, absolutely. I think Storm needs to be like astonishingly beautiful. Like she needs to captivate. You know, she needs to like fucking Doctor Doom called her disarming. Bro. So, I mean, come on, man. Like that is like the ultimate cosign. You know what I mean? Like Victor Von Doom, who by the way might even be sacrificing his own fucking family. Fake ass family, but still. To Doctor Doom to be like, you know, you're disarming and you're a true goddess, and to say shit like that, come on, man. Come on, man. So yeah. I missed this talk. Please quickly sum up what's going on with it. Hugh Jackman's sticking around till he's 90, and everybody's gonna like it, and I'm gonna find everybody complaining about it and shove them into a locker. They could totally mess up Cynthia makeup and stuff. Yeah, Cynthia is a highly trained actress. She could disappear into the role of Storm, but like you got to do that shit. Like you got to actually do that. And if you actually do it, which would take physical change, like you got to physically change your body. A lot of these actors and actresses do that. And if she does that, we'll see. I'm willing to give her a shot, but I'm also not going to sit up here and be like, actually, anybody could be Storm. Actually, beauty standards change, and we should be able to have anybody be Storm looking any way they want. No. Wrong. Zoe Saldana Storm. Zoe's beautiful. I don't know that she's right for Storm, but she is a beautiful woman. Wouldn't a new Wolverine movie make the most sense if he seek out the first class of the X-Men for the next phase? That's my immediate thought. He brings the new X-Men to Charles. So actually, it's funny. I actually don't think so. I think the opposite of that. I think this is one of the big mistakes of like the Fox X-Men was that they realized Wolverine was super fucking popular, and yet he shouldn't really be like a recruiter. You know what I mean? Like, in some ways they get part of it right because like he's always had a thing for like young, discarded women. Like he's like real fatherly and really does like, and it's like all over the canon with characters like Kitty and stuff. Like that is Logan, and he has that. But I think they fucked up a little bit by making him such like a player for the X-Men. Nah, like that's not really Logan. So, yeah, there's moments where he takes over the X-Men completely, somewhat out of guilt or whatnot, but I'm ready for a Logan that doesn't want to be on the team, that doesn't want to play ball, that has more of an attitude, and I think that would be a better way to do it. I guess they do kind of do that in the first X-Men, now that I'm thinking back a little bit. We got to rewatch those movies. I'm actually excited to rewatch those movies with you guys. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. There's way too many other black women actresses to just settle for Cynthia. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I agree with that. I think there's like a whole bunch of like smoke shows out there, like bombshells. And I would imagine that there's actors out there that also are bombshells that look the part. Yeah, I don't know. Sydney Sweeney as Emma Frost. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, but they undid that attitude with the Separatists, Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah. But, you know, the other thing, too, is, like, they kind of can't do Charles right either. I mean, to be honest with you, like, going away from the Krakoa era felt like a move that Kevin was like, I don't want villainous Charles Xavier. But the issue with that is, like, dude, some of the best parts of Charles Xavier is that edge. Like, Charles is kind of shady, dog. And that's something the movies have never really done. Like maybe a little here and there, but I think that Hollywood's just so addicted to like, no, good guy, just bad guy and good guy and that, you know? Layla says, no way Tom kills Toby in Secret Wars. I will hate Tom Spider-Man if that happens. I've not even looked into that rumor, so I don't know if it's true or not. I did hear that they're all going to fight. I did hear they're all going to fight in Secret Wars. That was a long time ago. But Tom kills Toby? I don't know about that. Why would Tom kill Toby? Maybe Toby's working for Doom. Maybe Toby's convinced. All right. Any other thoughts on this whole Wolverine, New Mutants, X-Men, all this craziness? Any other thoughts, guys? I want to get into the stuff about the trailers, and then we're probably going to call it a little bit of a shorter stream today, although I don't know how long we've been yapping for. Oh, my God. Yeah, a little bit of a shorter stream today. But, yeah. Miss the soupy? Okay, let me see. Ibsy says, Rob also thinks the third trailer is Wolverine-focused? Wow. That's pretty wild. 1 year down to Avengers for Life. Oh, yeah, appreciate you. Yeah, that's pretty wild. How do you feel about Jade from the WWE Women's Championship wanting to be Storm? Didn't she do like a cosplay of that shit recently? I'm not super familiar with her, but I think, like, I want to say I saw her in costume and was like, hell yeah. So didn't she like do that? Like a cosplay or came out dressed as her? Yeah, I'm about it. She can't act for shit. Well, give her some acting lessons, man. You know? Give her some acting lessons. All right. That'll do it for the Wolverine stuff. Again, I'm actually pumped about this. I know there's mixed feelings, et cetera, but I think Marvel is doing the right moves for the longevity of the brand. And I think Marvel has realized that, like, all these people online that are, like, complaining or whatever, they don't really matter as much, frankly. And there's enough precedence and evidence to suggest that this will be a good move. I think Jackman has a lot to give. I mean, he gives like 2 lines of dialogue in Deadpool and Wolverine that like give me chills. So this motherfucker can act. So yeah, I think this is awesome. I think this shit is awesome. Okay. So let's talk about the trailers. Let's talk about this shit. And also, guys, it is worth. Okay, hang on. I just got some text here. Hang on. Let me check something here. Okay, hang on. Currently locked into. Wow. Only one version of teaser trailer. Okay. Give me 1 second here. Okay. So, the trailers, the Doomsday trailers, a lot has been said about this. There's a lot of confusion out there. And I want to try to update you as best as I can. And just like everything else here, man, it's an ever-evolving process. We're going to get things wrong. I've gotten things wrong in the past. I will get things wrong in the future. But I try to do as best I can of making sense of everything that's out there. So, pretty confident that the Steve Rogers trailer is the first trailer that it's dropping soon. However, this week was so crazy with leaks that I just talked to a person at a theater, and apparently they're not even getting their keys until right before the showing now. So I don't know that that's happening all over the place. I showed you guys an image earlier of fans reacting in Europe. I think it was in Paris, or maybe it was in Brazil. I forget, of the trailer. So people are seeing it, but it's not in every showing yet. And I think it's not going to hit until later today in some of the showings. I'm going to go out today. I'm going to go watch the trailer. I'll do a little reaction to it after seeing it in the theater. But there was the leak of the Thor trailer, and we were like, oh my God, this shit is crazy. And the Thor trailer would indicate that this is not coming from those encrypted keys. This is coming from internal people, internal mechanisms within Marvel itself. There's no way that they would have put out the key to unencrypt the Thor trailer until next week. So, as this is all going down, there's this group of scoopers out there, which is like Majestic's connected to it. Doom's Servant, Connor, member of the channel, who's been super cool, super chill, giving me a lot of info and whatnot that's going on. There's this group of people out there that seem to have access to people from Marvel. And this seems to be coming outside of your regular channels. So this isn't coming through Alex Perez. This isn't coming through Daniel RPK. My time to poop all over the floor. Hello. This seems to be independent people that have worked at Marvel that are releasing this stuff. Another thing that happened, and this is super cool. I obviously can't play this on stream, but the theme for the X-Men, this doesn't come from one of the trailers, but it is a theme for the X-Men. It has been leaked, and oh my fucking God, it's incredible. It gives you the feels, dude. Gives you the feels. Now, maybe that's why Burnett thinks that the other trailer is Wolverine. But let me tell you, my understanding is some of this came from that group of ninjas out there that's somehow leaking all of Marvel's shit. Okay, but I didn't sign no NDA, and I didn't hear no bell. So let me tell you what they told me. Apparently, there's not 4 trailers. There's 5! And I'm like, what the fuck? But here's what it is. Steve Rogers, Thor, Loki, and then Doctor Doom. Now, when I first heard that, I was like, okay, so the 4th one's probably that full-on trailer that we were hearing about. Maybe not. It's very possible all 4 of these trailers that are playing at Avatar over the next couple of weeks are just scenes, which would track with some of the stuff that other sources told me as well. Like, for a long time, people were saying it's not going to focus on the different teams. It's character focused. They're telling a story, etc. So Steve Rogers is back. Thor is back, and he's completely fucking shook. Loki's back and maybe saying something. And then we get some Doom. Okay? But the reality is, it's starting to look like those are more scenes, and there's not going to be action. It's not a full-on trailer. And I think it's fair for fans to be like, damn, like, I want to see some action. I want to see some of the X-Men. Like, I want to see more. And I even talked to some people on social media that were saying something to the effect of, this feels like it's all for the normies. When are we going to get fed? Like, when are the hardcore fans going to get fed, right? And I believe this 5-trailer rumor now explains it all. So what these people are telling me, this like sort of new Scooper Cabal, which I like so much more than the other Scooper Cabal. The new Scooper Cabal is telling me that you're going to get 4 trailers on Avatar that are all scenes. And then a month later, because you got to remember, the last week will be January 8th, I believe. So after the last one, which is Doom, a month later, in February, you're going to get that full-on trailer. Now, why do I believe this, or why would this make sense? Well, I've been telling you for a while that Marvel has put a lot of money into this promotion. This is the most expensive and extensive marketing campaign in the history of the superhero genre. Just this morning at 3 a.m., the Russo brothers released an official tease, which had the clapper and gave you an actual timer for when Doomsday releases. That's at 3 a.m. from the actual Russo brothers accounts. So the year-long promotion has officially kicked off. One of the reasons they did this was because, in a very strange move, Doomsday is going to release the same day and time in Japan that it will be in the United States. I actually think that it will release worldwide at the same time. Literally, at the first showing, I don't know for sure, but I'm starting to believe that the first showing of Doomsday, the first time we, the fans, will be able to watch Doomsday, every single place around the world will be getting it at the same time, relatively speaking, which is pretty fucking cool. Japan is a day ahead of us, but I think they're like mapping it out so that it's all going to happen at the same time, right? So thus begins the big thing. And in a sense, a lot of the rumors we heard about the trailers would make more sense if there were 4 scene trailers and then the actual trailer, which will drop in February. And a lot of money right now points to it being on the Super Bowl. Now, I spoke to some people and I was like, okay, so wait a minute. You're telling me that the Spider-Man trailer and the Doomsday trailer might be at the Super Bowl? That's fucking crazy. But I don't know that that's going to happen. Sony tends to skip the Super Bowl, first of all. And also, it's looking like the Spider-Man trailer, this is another element to this story. We spoke about the Spider-Man trailer yesterday. From what I understand, that the new Scooping Cabal has confirmed that that video is months old. Meaning that at the time, when it was unfinished VFX, and it was being shown in like a survey sense where they were trying to like get fan reactions and maybe tweak the trailer a little bit. That happened months ago. So the video we thought leaked yesterday or the day before leaked or was recorded months ago, meaning Sony is ready to rock and roll. The original plan was they were going to drop that trailer next week for Anaconda. Okay. And here's what I think the marketing strategy is between Sony and Marvel and Doomsday and Spider-Man. I think the Doomsday trailers are dropping, but they're scenes, man. They're scenes. They're just little teases. They're meant to like, oh shit, Steve Rogers is back. Oh shit, Thor is going to cry because Dr. Doom's going to kill his daughter. Oh my God, Loki's talking some shit. He's going to get off the throne. Holy shit, first look at Dr. Doom, right? But while that's going on, I think you're going to get a full-on brand new day trailer. And we already know this, but the brand new day trailer completely mogs the Doomsday teasers. It has action, it has story, it has mystery, it has Shakira, you know, and her hips don't lie. It is looking dope as hell. So it's kind of like Doomsday throwing some softballs, getting us started. Then Spider-Man puts it on the table. But what that allows is for a pretty quick turnaround in February for Doomsday to put it on the table. So it's almost like a little start with Doomsday, boom, Spider-Man, crazy. Then, after a little bit of space and breath, and Spider-Man has had its time to shine, hello, boom, Doomsday on the table. That's pretty fucking wild, guys. Like, that is very aggressive. That's aggressive marketing. That's taking over a whole month, sucking all the air out of the room at a time when, like, dude, other people could really use some buzz, particularly DC and Star Wars. And you're going to suck all the air out of the room. You're going to put those 4 trailers up. And then a month from then, you're going to do the Doomsday trailer. And you're going to do the Doomsday trailer at the Super Bowl. Now, let's get one thing out of the way. If old-ass Aaron Rodgers somehow gets the Steelers to the Super Bowl, I ain't doing no content on the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the Doomsday trailer opens with RDJ saying, Josh, you better fucking make a video about this shit right now. I still won't do it. I'm sorry, Robert. I'm sorry, Kevin. It's not going to happen. The odds of that happening are pretty fucking low. But just know, the best you're going to get is I'll cut a little reaction video and throw it up as I'm drunk as fuck rooting the Steelers on. So I just want to let's put that to bed right away. But other than that, and let's be real, they're not probably beating anybody in even the first round of the playoffs if they get in. So I'll probably be here with y'all. This is going to be crazy. And that could potentially be one of the biggest trailers, one of the biggest streams we've ever had. When we broke down the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer at the Super Bowl 2 years ago, 14,000 people were watching us live. It's actually our record. And I would imagine if the Doomsday, John, is anywhere near what I think it's going to be, and especially after these 4 little tickle the ball trailers that we're getting now, I think we're going to break that record. And I think Marvel's looking to break a record. You know what I mean? Like Superman came out and said some bullshit about how it had the 3rd most watched trailer ever or something like that. I think Kevin's like, it's and I think this thing will take the crown and push some of those other things off of the list. So that's the current rumors with regards to the trailers. I haven't heard anything about what is the contents of the Loki trailer, what is the contents of the Doom trailer. I have seen Dr. Doom. Looks good. By the way, the Scoop and Cabal said they're going to leak Doom on Christmas anyway, so we'll see. But yeah, that's the current strat. That's everything I know about it. I'll open up to questions, thoughts, comments, questions. What do you guys make of that, huh? What do you think about all that, huh? I'm a diehard and a Rodgers Packer fan, but Aaron Rodgers is my quarterback, and I'm going Steelers, baby. I switch sides. Hell yeah, there you go. I like Aaron, man. You know? He's a chill-ass dude. They're not doing a trailer for the Super Bowl. It'll be a TV spot that tells you to Google the real trailer. Yeah, and then they'll technically count those as views. That's what they do with Deadpool. It's like, what the fuck? But, yeah. All right, Mr. Delusional, the Steelers ain't making it past the first round, Chief. I already admitted that. Oh, yeah, here's the other element. So Daniel Ha brings up a really good point. Not only will we break that trailer down live, but I will eat one of the spiciest hot wings ever put onto this planet Earth and then attempt to break the trailer down. It's going to be really funny. We started this last year. I think I did the Brand New Day trailer or whatever. Shit sucked ass. Oh, no, it was Thunderbolts. Yeah, so we'll do that again. Like, basically, trailer will drop, and I'm going to be like, holy shit, and then dump. Like, dude, I'm pretty sure this hot sauce is illegal. And then we'll break it down, so it's going to be really fun. All right, any thoughts, comments, questions? Spider-Man and Doomsday trailers both at the Super Bowl? I don't think so. The people I spoke to said no, but maybe. Now that you've opened the subject, talk to us about Doom. What did you see? What's the word? Looks good. Looks good. I saw the mask. Looks good. Have you been bone smashing? Dude, deadass like took me a second to even know what that is. No. If I look, I'm not. Everybody's free to have their feelings and believe whatever shit they want to believe. But in my opinion, if you're one of these motherfuckers bone smashing, go the whole way. Just smash your fucking head right the fuck in. Because that's some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Like, who are these people? And what kind of a world are we living in that people literally want to break their own bones and cut their fucking legs and make them into stilts? Yeah, nah. Nah. Smash it. Just take it a little further and smash your fucking head in. Because that's the dumbest shit ever. In Minecraft, of course, but yeah. You don't understand it. See, and there's gonna be people that are like, nah, like you're gonna defend it and you can feel how you feel about it. It's all good. I just think it's the dumbest shit ever, personally. Like, to be honest with you, I even think most of the time I think like cosmetic surgery is kind of whack, but at the same time, there can be a place for cosmetic surgery. And also, if it's going to make you feel good and more comfortable, who the fuck am I to judge you? Okay. But dude, even that is better than a bunch of idiots smashing their own bones on their own. Like, at the very least, go get this shit done professionally. Like, my God. When you say you saw Doom in the Doom teaser trailer or an image of Doom, I saw an image. Wait in 10 years, the line recedes a bit more, and you'll fight for a transplant? Nah, dude, I don't give a fuck. I mean, I really don't care. First of all, I'm not Brad Pitt. I don't know if you guys noticed this. I'm not what you would call like a looker, per se. And also, who gives a shit? Like, who are these? Like, I don't know. I just think that's such a weird. I just think the psychology there, although some of it I do understand, I think the psychology there is just so fucking wrong. It's just very wrong. You're not using filters right now? No. And I just also don't care. Dude, like, dudes have been saying this forever, but it's really true. There's something attractive about truly not giving a fuck. And there's a confidence that you could have where, like, I understand what the world is, I understand what other people are, and I understand my place in it, and I'm getting mine. Like, I'm getting mine. Like, I'm all about that. And I think that you can do that. I mean, dude, what's the homie's name that was maybe a bad example because he was on that island, but the homie that was in the chair, this dude was getting tail. Are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? But you think you're going to go smash your fucking bones and elevate your status in this world? Crazy, dude. Low-hanging fruit, internet dad bullshit, in my opinion. Do you think the trailer is showing what characters Doom is going to corrupt to make the Dark Avengers? No, but that would be very cool. That would be very cool. I would imagine that even the first trailer, because here's the thing, we're getting these teases, right? We're getting these teases, but I still think that first trailer will be something like a tease. I mean, I think it's going to show you some crazy action. I mean, if the brand new day trailer is any like indication of what that is, then they will cook and it'll be really, really awesome. But I think there's like, generally, it's still a good ways out. There's still a lot more that they could tease, you know? Fatherhood focused character trailer ideas. That could absolutely be what it is. Yeah, that could absolutely be what it is. That's not a bad idea. Sort of taking the themes established by the teasers and paying them off with a little bit more dialogue and stuff. Yeah, that could absolutely work. Josh, didn't Sony tweet all I want for Christmas is Tom Holland Spider-Man? Is anyone saying that's possible? 7 months, let's go. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, I think there was somewhat of a tease there. That's probably an indication that they were going to drop the trailer maybe on Christmas with Anaconda. You know, Sony doing Sony stuff. So, yeah. Sorry, Josh, but I'm getting a hair transplant in the future because I want hair. I'm not saying that's not okay. I'm just delineating that there's a difference between that and dudes watching a streamer that are smashing their buns. Like, I'll tell you this. Maybe I shouldn't even say this, but like if I ever caught Liam listening to one of these fucking idiots, he gonna get smashed. You know what I mean? He gonna get smashed. King says, I'm worried that Steve and Doom's beef will take away from Reed and Doom's rivalry. One of these trailers should be about Reed. What do you think? This is fair. There's so much here. There's so much that you could say about this because, you know, we were just talking about this on the Discord this morning. Totally fair. Totally fair, especially considering what happened in the Hickman run, which is such a nice exploration of the difference between Reed Richards and Dr. Doom. But I think what a lot of people are missing is how does it explore Reed Richards and Dr. Doom? Because, dude, one of the things that a lot of people can't admit as far as this whole setup for Dr. Doom is, dude, this is basically equal to the setup that Doom had in Hickman's run. And if you know, you know. Because Doom, here's the thing. Here's Doom in the Hickman run. He's there in issue 2 because the second incursion opens in Latveria. He's then there at like one point when Namor comes to him. And Namor's like, I'm hanging out with the Illuminati. They're a bunch of bitches. They won't destroy planets. So I figured we'll start building the Cabal. I went to all these people, but Victor, these people are fucking wild. He's talking about like Thanos, Proxima Midnight, etc. And Doom's like, you went to them first. Doom's nobody's second choice. Get the fuck out of my castle, Namor. And then you deadass don't see Doom again until like issue 31, maybe issue 32 of New Avengers, when it's revealed that he's Rabum Al-Al. And then in like 2 issues, they catch you up on what Doom was doing the whole fucking time, and then you roll into Secret Wars. So like all these people that are like, there's no proper setup for Doom. It won't be like Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars. Did we read the same books? They did the same fucking thing. Now, to be fair, Rabum Al-Al was established. The Great Destroyer was established, and Marvel did not do that. Okay, so that's the main difference is at least there was a figurehead which was ultimately revealed to be Doom, and therefore you could say maybe there was a more appropriate setup, right? But like, bro, get the fuck out of here. It's not that different, really. Okay? So what does that mean? Just like in the comics, a lot of this will be retroactively explained. You're going to get an explanation for Doom, likely a clever explanation, which will tie him to events we've seen throughout Phase 4, 5, and 6. And that's just like the Hickman stuff too. Okay? Now, as far as Reed is concerned, just consider that everything I just said applies to Reed, applied to the whole story, the whole time, the whole thing. There was maybe a little bit of stuff with Doom and Reed and the kids at one point in that whole story, but by and large, nothing. So how does Secret Wars then, with 4 years of setup and issues that had nothing to do with Reed and Doom, how does Secret Wars then make it about Reed and Doom in the actual Secret Wars story? Well, the way they do that is by showing Victor taking Reed's family and therefore fully explaining the psyche behind what Doom actually wants, and it's to be Reed. He has basically forever, since meeting Reed in college, seen Reed as a version of himself that had everything handed to him. And Victor is that character, but he had everything taken from him. And so when it comes to Secret Wars, when Victor becomes God and can create whatever world he wants, what does he do? He takes Reed's family. So nothing that I have just described is that far away from what Marvel has the capacity to do right now. Right now. And in fact, because Doomsday will literally deal with Reed and Sue and Franklin and the fact that this Doom variant had a Franklin and a Sue in another universe, it's actually going to do more than Hickman shit did. It's actually going to do more than Hickman shit did and potentially pay it off more in Secret Wars. Now, that part we don't know for sure, but yeah. So anyway, not to get super heated about that, but like that's, in my opinion, I understand the concern, but if you literally just look at the source material, they are not that far off from where we were then. Right? Fair? Fair? Too many streams. Let me tell you about tomorrow's stream, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to want to buckle up for this. Tomorrow at 5 p.m., we're going to go live here in the tower, and it's a Christmas-themed stream. I'm going to be drinking Christmas cocktails. I might have a fun Christmas sweater on. I might say ho, ho, ho. I might eat some goddamn Christmas cookies. And what are we going to be doing besides throwing back drinks and freaking out and crashing out at chat? Well, we're going to be looking back to predictions I made in late 2024 about what would happen to Marvel, Star Wars, DC, and all the other nerdy things in our the year of our Lord 2025. And I think I got a lot of shit wrong. So too many streams. Fuck out of here, bro. We got one more this week at least. And then we'll be back in it next week as well. Are the X-Men Fantastic we have now always supposed to be in the 616, but weren't because of Kang? I believe that it is something like that, yes. I think Brand New Day will try to test Peter and slowly bring out the darkness in him, and Doom could possibly be behind it and recruit him for his team. Big reach, but just a theory. Not that big of a reach and super fun, Thrag. I think that is the juice, man. That's the fun. I think the darkness is in Peter for sure. That's where the Batman reference came in from yesterday. So, yeah. Let's go. A year in review stream. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And who knows? Maybe I'll smash my bone. My YouTube keeps bugging out and saying I have to be a subscriber to comment. What the fuck? Well, yeah, subscribe to the channel. Keep the streams coming. Scratches the itch for Doomsday and Marvel news. There you go, baby. Booze and cookies. Yeah, it's a hell of a combo. I wish Julian McMahon was still alive. Totally, man. Totally. Not the other shitty Doom through the remake. What are your thoughts? Yeah, I would like that too. Yeah. We'll see how they handle that. Yeah. I feel like Iron Man is definitely in Brand New Day. Iron Man? Iron Man? The Victor Von Doom variant? Whew. Will Venom be in Secret Wars? I don't know, but I hope so. Do you think the MCU big three of Cap, Iron Man, and Thor will be replaced with Hulk, Spider-Man, and Wolverine? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, maybe it's Scotty Summers, Jean Grey, and Wolverine. Oh, thanks, Terrence. I appreciate it, man. Deadass, you're the best and most reliable one talking any sense about this stuff. Subscribe and hope to earn Nerd Avenger. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, we're just doing our thing. Everybody does this internet thing a little bit different. I'm working on refining it a bit. You know, I want to do more. Like, I have a 20-minute video about why Steve Rogers is back, and I think it's like fucking incredible. We spent a lot of time editing that. That'll probably drop either tomorrow or maybe tomorrow, maybe Saturday. But yeah, I also like the streams. I like the really easy clip cutout thing, so you guys have a way to like get out on the news really, really quickly as well. So we've got a lot of plans on how we're going to evolve the content in 2026. It's going to be a big year for us. Perendis says, just got a new remote job so I can start watching the live stream every day. Good vibes to everyone. Nerd for life. Appreciate you, bro. And happy for you. Got a nice cozy gig there. You know, everybody's got a gig, you know, just try to make it the best gig for you that you possibly can have. And appreciate it. Hope to see you more in the streams. Congratulations. Neither Doom nor Loki are fathers as far as we know. So I don't think the trailers are about fatherhood. The next two will be about Loki and Doom. It could be, although there are big time rumors that Dr. Doom was a father in the universe that he comes from in this multiverse. But you're right that he is not a father in the comics. But maybe there's something to that. Yeah. Do you think we will ever see Bucky pick up the Captain America helm like in the comics? Hard to say. I mean, I'll tell you this. I think you're getting a version of Bucky Cap in Doomsday. But I don't know what's going to happen to Bucky. Might not be good, though. Josh, I saw Kevin Feige snipe 10 people yesterday. Bro is seriously angry. Can you team up with Grandmaster Choda and stop Kevin Feige? So I've seen people talking about that. Did they really open up 10 different new jobs at Disney? Did they really fire those people? Because, dude, that would be so funny. Like, I mean, it's kind of not funny, but at the same time, like, bro, that would be hilarious. That's some white Suge Knight shit. You know? Bucky, Hulk, Red Guardian, Ant-Man gonna die? There will be blood. Did they leak Steve's baby's name? I don't know that anybody's 100% leaked it, but I think it's probably going to be James, yeah. In the words of Little Yachty, he did. I mean, we'll see. I think Thor is praying because he's going to sacrifice himself as he goes for the head this time, coming full circle, allowing for the heroes to escape in the raft at the end of the movie. Could be that, or he could be sacrificing himself to save his brother's lover, Sylvie. We'll see. Josh, do you think it is for... who do you think is for sure dead in Doomsday? A lot of people. A lot of people are going to die. Wouldn't consider firing someone for not doing their job SHUGH level. No, it's not that they didn't do their job. It's that they betrayed the company by leaking trade secrets, which, like, dude, I didn't sign any NDA. I don't work for Disney. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just some nerd talking about what other people are saying on the internet. But there's people that literally work for the mouse that are potentially out here spoiling stuff. And you know what else is kind of wild? I had this thought. I don't know that this is real, but I had this thought. What if all of the stuff that just happened with the Doomsday trailers leaking, what if Feige was literally trying to clog up all the leaks before the big one? What if this was all foreplay and he's actually tricked everybody? And now he's found out how all the leaks happened. He's going to fire like 20 people. He's going to sue some people. And when this shit actually drops in February, ain't nobody leaking nothing. But that's just a theory. Just a theory. When you say dead, does that mean permanently, or will we still get them in the next reset? I mean, I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know. What do you think Tobey Maguire's role in Doomsday is? Is he there for fan service or something deeper? I think it's deeper, but deeper is fan service. Like, don't we want it deep? You know? So why not both? Why not both? Remember when a concept art leaked? I think it's all planned. I don't think that concept art was planned, to be honest, but could be. Could be. Are we still glazing Feige in the big 26? Yes, brother, I am. You don't have to, but I am. Shang-Chi dying after Doom takes the 10 rings. Maybe. Maybe. Hey, yo, we want it deep. Pause. All right, let's end that segment there. That was a half hour? What the fuck? Ain't no way, bro. Y'all should have stopped me sooner. As deep as they can go. All right, guys, I'm going to get on out of here, but I'll chill for a little bit. Is there any other questions, anything you guys want to talk about? Tomorrow we'll do the Christmas-themed stream. We'll have some Christmas cocktails. We'll look back at this year of 2025. What a fucking year, dude. Alex Perez Sadie Sink article. Are you for real, for real? Can we talk about Warhammer? Yes. Just released. God, Alex, why? Alex, you couldn't have waited 5 minutes, dog? I'd be off of this bitch. Is it real? The real Dart Boyd says, any Warhammer news? What's Henry up to? What I can say is, maybe a little bump in the road, but I think Henry has established his dominance, and I think everybody knows what time it is. That's probably all I can say. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Say less than 20 people from all universes survive Doomsday. Something like that. Yeah. Scott says, 40K question. You think they'll start with the Horse Heresy in the Warhammer Cinematic Universe? No, the current rumors suggest that they will start right after the Heresy in a time period known as the Scouring. When's the last time you took that hat off? Dude, I take this hat off after every stream, but then my hair is like fucked after this, dude. So I just took a shower before today's stream, and like the hair was looking good, and then I throw this hat on there, and it's terrible. Cosmic Circus just dropped an article on who he thinks Sadie Sink is playing. Okay! Couldn't have waited a half hour on that article, huh, Alex? Ooh. All right, kill the music. We got one more segment today, I guess. All right, let's check this shit out here. Breaking news, maybe a speculative article, probably, from Alex Perez over at the Cosmic Circus, talking about Sadie Sink's role in Brand New Day. 11-minute read? Holy shit, dog. All right, here we go. Let's just see. Let's see what Alex has to say. By the way, as always, go support the Cosmic Circus. Go support Alex Perez. He is still, to this day, one of the best in the space. The title of the article says it all, really. In today's theory article, let's just be clear, we're going to use what we know thus far and plant some educated guesses to try to figure out who Sadie Sink is portraying. By the way, I heard some new shit about Sadie Sink yesterday. I wonder if Alex heard it as well. We're going to find out. Sadie Sink was first confirmed to be a part of Spider-Man Brand New Day by Deadline in March 2025. Not much was confirmed about her role, except that it was meant to be a significant character. Since then, outlets and fans all over social media have been springing up fan casts left and right to suggest who she could be. This has included some of the most famous Marvel redheads like Mary Jane Watson, Jean Grey, Firestar, Rachel Cole, and even an incarnation or iteration of Mayday Parker. Our theories have portrayed her as a character like Gwen Stacy or a multiversal thing like Shathra or the Spider Queen. What Alex is not saying here is that Jeff Snyder, before the trades broke that Sadie was in this movie, Jeff Snyder broke, along with many other reports, that Sadie was being looked at for Jean Grey. He said that Harris Butler dude from that weirdo movie with Tom Cruise's ex-wife was being looked at for Scotty. Katie Butters was being looked at for Katie Pryde. Even the one homie who played Scarlet Witch's husband, or the person she has the affair with in that one fucking movie, the guy that literally said the meme, "What kind of American are you?" He's apparently going to be looked at for the new Beast. The reason this matters, and I'm kind of curious as to why Alex didn't include this, is because Jeff Snyder also is the only guy that had Doctor Doom RDJ thing before anybody else. Marvel lied to him to say it wasn't true. A week later, they confirmed it. And then after that happened, Jeff was super pissed at Marvel, and he starts blathering all about this X-Men stuff. So I continue to believe that Jeff spoke a little bit out of class because he was so mad at Marvel Studios. So anyway, let's get back to what Alex is saying. Today we're going to navigate all the information, blah, blah, blah. What we know about Sadie Sink and Spider-Man Brand New Day. Ooh, this is good. This is good. This is juicy. The first thing we usually look at when trying to decipher a character is their appearance. We can look to be a strong indicator of the character Sadie Sink is portraying, and from what we can tell, this character has Sink's ginger hair, wears a yellow jacket, military camo outfit, pants, camo boots, as confirmed by the pictures of Sink on set. Another reason this is wild is because Sadie Sink came out just a couple of weeks ago and literally said something like, hair color can change, and we have set photos of her looking like with her red hair. So, like, what was that? Why did Sadie say that? Little Andrew Garfield werewolf energy, perhaps? Now, this look could point towards more human or grounded character with some sort of military or combat experience rather than a multiversal threat. Still, it could be a very elaborate ruse by a villain. So we can't just base it on looks alone. We need to solve this problem with solve this much debated mystery. The second thing we need to look at is what we have been informed about by reliable scoopers. The first, wait, is he talking about it? The first instinctive detail we knew about Sadie would be an ally given her screen presence in the Max Mayfield Stranger Things, but that may not necessarily be the case. According to her casting list decipher, sharp and free-spirited woman with a mysterious past who is strong-willed, intelligent, and not easily intimidated. And given the recent trailer leak, it's clear she is no joke. But it also gives us a massive clue about her character. She's not necessarily on Peter Parker's side, but it doesn't seem like she's a full-blown antagonist either, given that she is currently under the watchful eye of John Bernthal's Punisher in that movie. Her character, at the very least, seems complex. And this very complex character is on the run from the Department of Damage Control, where I reported in my last exclusive that Tremel Tillman will be portraying the new head of the Department of Damage Control and will appear in Spider-Man Brand New Day, intending to capture Sadie Sink's character because they believe she is a mutant, or at the very least, somebody with unchecked powers. Speaking of powers, recent reports have pointed towards her being a shapeshifter, and something interesting to note is that in an interview with EW, Sadie herself said a lot of people forget that hair color can change when asked about her role in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Many people saw this as a reference to hair color, but maybe she was slightly referring to the shapeshifter role. In addition to that, there were reports of female villain being attached to this movie, and one that could potentially or reportedly control the minds of multiple people at the same time. Not to mention that given the scenes from the recent leaked trailer, there seems to be a lot of trippy, mind-bending effects at play here. Very Doctor Strange coded, if you ask me, except that Doctor Strange won't be in this movie. And I can confirm that there will be hallucination-type sequences in this movie involving multiple characters, not just Peter. That is connected to the multiverse very likely. So there's clearly a lot going on here, and judging by the dumpster fire of leads and rumors over Sink's role over the past few months, trying to pinpoint one single character might be troublesome. Scoopers and outlets with these circles, myself included, have gone from Mayday Parker to Shathara to Jean Grey in a matter of a few months, chasing every new lead that comes out from the set, and it seems like every new little detail that comes out contradicts something we have reported on before. It's why most scoopers are afraid of putting it out who they think Sadie Sink is betraying, because at the end of the day, no one likes being wrong and have their credibility take a blow. I don't give a fuck. However, in one of my late night think tanks, I like to call them, it hit me. What if it all leads to coming out of this movie are misdirects? What if, instead, focusing on the smaller details and looking at the bigger picture altogether, if all that leads are true, Sink would be portraying an antagonistic female character with red hair, some form of military training or expertise, a complicated past, telepathy, the ability to shapeshift, classification as a mutant by the Department of Education. I think we may have found our culprit. Theory: Sadie Sink could be playing Mary Alice Walker, aka Typhoid Mary. Probably not the character you guys were expecting, huh? Let me give you a quick rundown of who Mary Walker is and try to convince you why I think Sadie Sink is portraying her. Walker was introduced to the comics in 1988 as a complex character, from the get-go due to her troublesome past of childhood abuse, which resulted in Mary developing alternate personalities through her dissociative identity disorder. Moreover, due to the deep psychological strain of her past abilities at the hand of her father, Mary's alter was able to awaken her latent psionic abilities, which were later revealed to be a mutant nature. As time went on, she developed her telekinetic telepathic abilities, as well as her prowess and martial artist, close combat, blah, 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 blah. Supporting evidence says, off the bat, first appears similar. Mary's classification as a mutant in the comics, referred to as Mutant Zero, following the events of House of M. Okay. Thirdly, her psionic powers, apparently mind control sequences that we'll see in the movie, multiple guards at one time, being influenced by apparent unknown force. And seeing how the leak trailer, blah, blah, blah. Additionally, Punisher. Okay. Yeah, I don't think so, guys. I certainly don't think so. The evidence against Typhoid Mary? Yeah. Okay. Very interesting speculation on Alex's part. I think a lot of the stuff in here is on point. You know, it's interesting that he's going with this character. I mean, I just don't see this at all in any way, shape, or form. There's a couple of reasons why. Again, Alex does not mention Jeff Snyder's scoop. Alex also doesn't mention the trade saying that Sync is in Secret Wars. So why would Typhoid Mary be introduced in this movie and then also be in Secret Wars? I just don't really see that. Look, on top of that, I was told by a very reliable source that she's absolutely Jean Grey. But I was also told that Marvel's like lying to their own employees about that. That there's stuff I know that I can't say actually. But yeah, I don't think so. I don't buy this at all. I don't buy this at all. Now, in my opinion, what could be going on is because there's something really weird going on with Marvel where like technically even Tony Stark isn't actually Tony Stark. And I don't even know that that's true, but I believe that it's true, right? So in a sense, this character could be Jean Grey from the Prime universe that is placed on 616 and given the identity of like Typhoid Mary or something. Like, I guess maybe that's possible. But yeah, I don't buy that, guys. I just really don't buy that. I mean, I think from what I've been told, she has the power set of Jean Grey. And so she's either a Jean Grey clone, a Jean Grey that doesn't know that she's Jean Grey, a Jean Grey variant that's pretending not to be Jean Grey. There are many different ways that you could slice this. But Typhoid Mary, pretty interesting. I mean, hey, maybe Alex is right. That would be wild, dude. If it ended up being Typhoid Mary, I would have to be like, wow, Alex was right. I didn't see that coming in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, I really don't see this, guys. What do you think? Chat, what do you think? Typhoid Mary. I don't know how I understood that. Wait, what? Typhoid Mary would be cool, but not on that level or stage. Yeah, and it's like, okay, so then explain why she's in Secret Wars. Yeah, I don't know. Lady Deathstrike? No. Lady Deathstrike doesn't have telekinesis abilities. Will this be a Tom Cruise Iron Man situation? It absolutely could be. I mean, I don't know. Like I've said a million times at this point, I could be wrong about this, but I don't care if I'm eventually wrong. What I care about is, am I giving you the best truth that I have access to right now? From where I am right now, from everything I've seen, from all the people I've talked to, she's Jean Grey. Now, it's more complicated than that. Of course, it's inherently more complicated than that. But unlike the scoopers, because I'm not a scooper, dude. I'm not a scooper. Okay? I don't care what my fucking reputation is or my accuracy level of like this, that, second, and the third. The people that fuck with my content know at the very least I'm plugged in and giving really fun ideas, really fun theories, and really fun, possible explanations of what all of this stuff is. And that's what fandom is. Okay? So I don't really give a fuck about this whole scooper, I'm right about this, I'm wrong about this. And actually, I think that's why I'm getting this one right. Because what Marvel did was in my opinion, trick a bunch of people like Alex to be so afraid that they're wrong that they put off enough disinformation to throw people off the scent. And they're so afraid of being wrong that they won't take a leap. They won't trust their instinct. That's my opinion. So, no, I don't think it's Typhoid fucking Mary, dog. Like, I just don't. But it could be. I thought Sophie Turner is Jean Grey. Are you new around here? What's going on there? What? Fish Production says, if Kang wrote prime villains as timeline heroes, could Doom have found out and those are the heroes he wants to recruit? Yes. I think there's something to that, my guy. I think there's something to that. Yeah. What if it's Firestar? LOL, that would be wacky. Now, look, there is precedence for Marvel doing wacky shit. Like, remember when they brought Giancarlo Esposito into the MCU, and it was going to be GW Bridge, and then Rob Liefeld started talking some wild shit, and Marvel changed it because they don't want to pay royalties to Rob Liefeld anymore, allegedly. Oh, yeah, no, so what did Marvel do? Make him into some fucking useless, stupid villain that doesn't do shit. Yeah, so like, don't get me wrong, like Marvel's can do some whack stuff. So maybe she is Shakira, but I don't think so. I'm kind of leaning towards Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, and a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people like that show, like those characters. This is all fun. Like, it doesn't have to be a thing where like we're yelling at each other, and I'm like, "You're fucking wrong." Like, dude, I could be wrong. You could be right. And by the way, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends is an awesome show. Firestar is an awesome character. Maybe it should be more like, hey, dude, Sadie's good. A lot of mystery on this character. There's a lot of fun options. What do you think she's going to be doing? Oh, that's cool. Let me tell you what I think she's going to be doing. And that's really the energy here. That's what it should be. It should have never become this like thing of like, oh, who's accurate, who's not? This is my scoop. You stole my scoop. This is my exclusive. This was on my Discord and all that stuff. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, I understand that it's a space where you can make money in it, but it is also nerd shit. Like, this is supposed to be fun. Like, we're supposed to be having fun here. We shouldn't be like, I think Alex is fucking wrong. Fuck him. You know, it's like, no, Alex just put out a great article, brought up a lot of fun points. I just happen to disagree with his take. People just want to be validated, Jay. That's why. Well, how about this then, chat? Everybody listen to me. Lean in and listen to me. You are fucking valid. You are valid. I validate you. I see you. You're a human fucking being having an experience going through this crazy ass world. And thank you for being here. Now can you shut the fuck up? Just kidding, but kind of not. I take back your validation. Okay, gotcha. What if she is one of Doom's disciples? Ooh, I like that. Yeah. The Black Swans or something like that could absolutely be. Remember, too, there is this weird thing going on where we've got some female Doom variants or maybe Doom servants or something, and they're wearing golden masks. Oh, girl. I still think she could be one of those. Are any of these characters short of Jean Grey capable of being in Secret Wars? Well, technically, sure, but I mean, it would be like lame as hell. You know what I mean? Like, Secret Wars. Over here, we got Maestro Hulk. He's in charge of all the Hulks, dude. You know? We've got, over here, King Thanos, dude. He's in charge of the Black Order and all this shit. And then over here, we got fucking Typhoid Mary. Who? Who'd you say? Typhoid what? Over here, we got Shakira, the Hornet bitch. It's like, what? Who the fuck is that? What? King Thanos, Maestro Hulk, and fucking Shakira, the Hornet bitch? Like, come on, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I don't think there's enough. I don't think there's enough evidence to be like, yeah, they're gonna Typhoid Mary her. But hey, look, I could be wrong. I'm gonna look real dumb. You know what I mean? In a couple of months, if I'm proven incorrect here. And I don't give a fuck. Do you think it's the first time I've looked dumb? You think that's the first time I've looked dumb? You think it'll be the last time I look dumb? Come on. No, you guys are right. I've never been wrong before. That's true. Good point. Whoever brought that up. Hell yeah. I don't know what Rebel Moon is. I don't know what that is, but I'll look into it. Aside from the shape-shifting, it sounds like Jean. Aside from the telepathy, it sounds like Mystique. Yeah. That's fair, dude. There's nothing wrong in what you just said, you know? Being wrong about Sadie Sink is not worse than your D&D prediction. You think so? So I feel a little validated about the D&D thing only because, like, dude, so many people have come around on that movie and are like, this movie's really incredible. This movie's really good. It deserved to make a lot more money. So basically, guys, I kind of fucked up and said the Dungeons & Dragons movie would make $1 billion. I was a little off. Probably like 700 million off or something. I don't even know what that movie did, but it underperformed. And I still can't believe it. That movie is incredible. I'm banned? Ah, shit. We're cap streaming now? What does that mean? You tripled down on that? No, I didn't. Okay, maybe I tripled down on it, yeah. That movie is a fart in the wind? What? Ain't no way. That movie's great. It came out the wrong time. See, there you go. That's that cope I'm looking for. To me, Firestar has always made the most sense. We are entering the Mutant Saga. X-Men doubles as an Avenger, New Warriors, basically their own young Avengers. Sure, I could see that. That tracks, yeah. You still never saw the best movie of 2025, though. What are you thinking? Are you saying Sinners? Are you saying Sinners is the best movie of 2025? Guys, what's the best movie in 2025 that y'all saw? Sinners? Okay, right. What's the best movie in 2025? Let's end this segment and let's talk about that a little bit. F1 is good, dude. F1 was really good. I really liked F1, dude. Thunderbolts was really good, yeah. One battle after another. I still haven't seen that. Is it pretty good? Smashing Machine. Is that where they're bone smashing? Predator? Okay. K-pop Demon Slayer was pretty good, man. F1 brings back the earliest 2000 feels. F1 was incredible. Very, very good. Sorry, Baby? What the hell's that? Sinners was decent. Nice. Sinners, nice. Avatar will be a banger? Yeah. Oh, A Long Walk? I didn't see that. Infinity Castle was lit, dude. That might be the best time I had in the theaters. I don't know if I would say it's the best movie I saw. Brave New World? Ain't no way. That's a troll, man. One battle after another clears. Does it? Okay, maybe I'll have to watch it then. Have you checked out Pluribus? I have checked out Pluribus. I really liked the first couple of episodes. I thought the last two episodes, and particularly the last episode, was some of the most boring television I have ever sat through. Pluribus is like really up and down for me. Like, what the fuck is this show? Can you sum up the Wolverine news in 20 seconds? Hugh Jackman, solo Wolverine movie, and more. He's going to strangle the new Wolverine variant in 616 in its crib and just take over for the role. That's basically been confirmed. Frankenstein really deserved a wider release in theaters. I still haven't seen that either. Five Nights at Freddy's? Yeah, not really my thing. Huh. I'm trying to think of, like, what's the best movie I watched this year? I don't know. I'd have to think about that a little bit. Yeah. You know what movie I'm really, like, jonesing to watch, but it's not on any streaming service. You can't even buy it. I have to go find this in physical media. I have been really craving to watch an old Woody Allen movie called Crimes and Misdemeanors. It's actually my favorite, maybe Midnight in Paris, but it's like up there with my favorite Woody Allen movie. And I haven't seen it in years. And I remember I wrote an essay about this movie for a philosophy class when I was in college. Yeah, but it's not anywhere. You can't find that movie anywhere, dude. So I'm gonna have to go buy that physically. Yeah. Daredevil pick just dropped. Oh shit! Do you think Wonder Man will kill this new hype for Marvel? Yeah, probably. That's why the Spider-Man trailer probably come out after the Doomsday trailer come out after. So, yeah, probably. Who knows, man? Maybe Wonder Man will be shockingly good. Maybe it'll be shockingly good. I don't know. Uh-oh. Maybe the Loki thing. Did people get fooled on the Loki thing? There's some weird stuff going around. I don't know. I guess we'll wait and see, huh? A lot of motion right now. A lot of motion, a lot of movement. Nosferatu? I didn't watch that. Predator Badlands was lit. Yeah, is that on Hulu now? Maybe I'll check it out now. You know what else I want to watch? And dude, Ross is going to lose his mind when I say this. So I don't like horror movies, but I kind of want to watch The Carpenter's Son, which is a horror movie starring Nick Cage where he's Joseph. Bruh. That sounds lit. That sounds lit. No, I didn't watch Weapons. I'm not a horror guy. I really don't watch a lot of horror. Tron was visually a good movie. I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that. F1, F4. Yeah, why not? Yeah, I don't know. You know, I still haven't watched the new Glass Onion movie, the Rian Johnson thing. Dude, is it just me or does Netflix hate this guy? Because I didn't see like any promotion for that. And I don't think they're going to sign him for anything else. Like, is it just me or like, did they not promote that shit at all? What the hell is this? Barnes & Noble? Oh, okay. Cool. Maybe I'll go get it there then. $30? It's a cool movie, though. No, I don't like horror, so I didn't watch the Welcome to Derry thing. Yeah. Imagine the snap activates the X gene in mutants. I think there could be something to that, yeah. My favorite movie from last year was Dream Scenario, which we watched on stream a little bit. It's one of the wildest movies I've ever seen, dude. And Nick Cage is so good in it, dude. And I cracked up when we were doing the watch party. Oh man, yeah, that movie's great. Gladiator 2. I watched Gladiator 2. It's all right. It was all right. Yeah, I think Magazine Dreams. I actually haven't seen that. I would watch it though. Can't wait for Spider-Man Noir. Me too. I think Spider-Man Noir is gonna be sick, dude. I'm actually really excited for that. I hope it's really good because I'll look super smart because I said it was gonna be really good. F1 probably best film. I mean, honestly, as I'm thinking about it, F1 is probably the best movie of the year for me. That movie's fucking incredible, dude. And has twists and turns you don't expect, full of heart. That last lap when he has the perfect lap and he's just in the zone. And they cut the sound out. My God. Odyssey made a post saying the prologue will be with Avatar. Hasn't Marvel done any announcements like this? I don't think they've done any official announcements about that yet, no. Yeah. Okay, everybody. Well, I'm going to get on out here. Thank you so much for another good stream, going over fun topics, just trying to figure out what's going on in this nerdy freaking world. So thank you so much for that. We will be watching the trailer officially. I'll probably drop a reaction video. I'm going to watch the trailer, walk out of the movie theater, come right back home here in front of the camera and record a reaction after I see the Steve Rogers Doomsday trailer later today. So look out for that on the main channel. I'm cooking a massive video about why Steve Rogers is back, the truth that people are missing, about the themes, about the child, and all that sort of stuff. So that big video will drop either tomorrow or Saturday, and plenty of other nerd-venging in our future. Appreciate you guys. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for the love, D. Murdoch. Appreciate you. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Turn your gain down. Turn your gain down. Your gain must be turned down. Step away from the mixing board with your hands up after putting your gain down. Anyway, hope you guys had a good time on the stream. It's been a good week of strangs and strimes and wangs. Hell yeah. Get out there and make some experiences, man. I keep telling you, you got to get out there. You got to get out there. Go to the mall, man. Go out to the subway. You know, go check out Plato's Closet. Get out there. Have some experiences. Open some doors for some old ladies. Give those Santas that are drunk working for the Salvation Army, give them some money. Maybe throw a snowball at a small child. Don't aim for the face, but a nice body shot, you know, so they can grow up stronger. There's just a lot of love out there. You know, the holiday cheer is real. It's a beautiful time of year. Get out there, man. Go have some fun. All right. Hey, do me a favor on your way out here. Actually, make it two. Open up your third eye and wash out your stinky, stinky butt. I'll see you later.